I'm honestly not even sure how to intro this video. The clip I'm about to show you is disturbing. I mean, it's actually disgusting. And it's coming from the press secretary for the United States of America for Joe Biden's administration, Karine Jean-Pierre. And she's going to be asked a very direct question about the obvious and clear uptick of anti-Semitic rhetoric and attacks that we're seeing all across the United States. Her answer just boggles the mind.
His level of concern right now about the potential rise of anti-Semitism in light of everything that's going on in Israel?
So a couple of things. We have not seen any credible threats. I know there's been always questions about credible threats, and so just want to make sure that that's out there. But look, Muslim and those perceived to be Muslim have endured a disproportionate number of hate-fueled attacks. And certainly President Biden understands that many of our Muslim, Arab Americans and Palestinian American loved ones and neighbors are worried about the hate being directed at their communities. And that is something you heard the president speak to in his address just last Thursday. And so one of the things that
So rather than using this as an opportunity to issue out a statement of comfort to these people, acknowledging to them that we hear you, we see you, we know what you're going through. There's been this major attack on Jewish individuals, yes, albeit across the world, but here in the United States of America, you are facing your own troubles and trials and tribulations. And we see it on the news, the video of mass protests and just angry, vitriolic language, people jumping on cars, smashing in windows, burning flags, Jewish flags, American flags. Rather than looking these people in the eyes and saying, we're here for you, we want to help you and protect you, she took the opportunity to look you and them directly in the face and say, it's not actually happening. There is no evidence of this uptick in anti-Semitic activity. It's not real. I don't care what videos you've seen. I don't care what you heard. Just go ahead and wipe that from your memory. That's not real. But you want to know what is real? The attacks on the Arab and Muslim community. That's real. Those are the people we need to be protecting right now. I mean, this is just evil, pure evil. You're seeing truth in front of your eyes, and they're telling you it's not real. Now, of course, I want to refute this with everything in me. So I went to go do some research and look up the videos that I know are out there because I've seen a bunch of them as I do research for this channel. And as I started watching them, I realized there's no way I can play this stuff for you. YouTube would take this video down if I showed you all of the pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas vitriol and anti-Semitic statements are out there, graffiti, like Nazi graffiti. It's bad. It's really, really bad. But I couldn't just let her get away with it. So of course I'm like, well, I can't show you this video, but at least I can show you some sources from the last couple of weeks, which just absolutely obliterate what she's saying here. So everything I'm going to show you is going to be all recent news. Here we see from the Washington Post, the high tide of American anti-Semitism makes Israel attacks foreboding. This is coming from Kirsten Gillibrand, who is a Democrat and a very far left-leaning Democrat from New York State. She says on her own Senate.gov site, following a disturbing rise in anti-Semitism and hate crimes, Gillibrand announces a push to protect synagogues and other religious institutions. Karine Jean-Pierre would say, no, there is no hate crimes. There is no anti-Semitism. This is her own colleague who stands on the same aisle as her on her own government page, telling people, yes, we are seeing this. This from a local News 10 station. Exclusive video shows man shouting anti-Semitic slurs at Jews outside synagogues in Broward. This from The Hill. Larry Hogan, who is the governor of Maryland, pulls out of Harvard programs over anti-Semitic vitriol on campus. This from local news channels 12, 3, and 11. Anti-Semitic flyers spread across the city overnight in Georgia, police say. This from another local media site. Delegate Joe Vogel, who is a Democratic delegate from Maryland, also on the same aisle as Karine Jean-Pierre, reports finding anti-Semitic graffiti in Gaithersburg apartment building. This from the Jerusalem Post. Pittsburgh Jewish Federation deletes X account, or the Twitter account, after being hacked by pro-Palestinian activists. This from the Daily Wire, which is a more conservative leading media source. American who survived Hamas attacks shocked over anti-Semitic protests I feel safer there than in the US. This is from the Ohio State Senate, their own government page from October 18th. How our college campuses became hotbeds of anti-Semitism. This is from the Telegraph. American Jews rush to buy guns as anti-Semitic attacks rise sharply. Police record 107 such incidents since Hamas's October 7th attacks. Remember, this is not happening. This is not real. We don't actually see anti-Semitic or hate crimes towards the Jewish people. It's really only happening towards the Muslim groups. That's where we're seeing the real big uptick. This from News Channel 4 in New York. Woman punched in the face in anti-Semitic attack in Midtown Manhattan subway station. Now, I'm going to stop there because I don't really want to bore everyone by just looking at news site after news site. But I'm telling you, I could probably go on for a very long time. And Karine Jean-Pierre, this am I wrong by saying evil? Am I wrong? Could have looked in the face of these Americans and comforted them, but thought, no, this must be used as an opportunity to turn against them and to support the real group we care about, the Muslim community, the community of Palestinians or Arabs. Now, I'm not disregarding that community, and I'm not saying that there aren't some hate crimes towards them. I'm sure there are. But to tell the American people that that's where the real attacks are being directed, that's just asking us to disbelieve reality, to not acknowledge the truth that we're seeing all across the country. This is really an evil administration. And I believe that she's doing this because partly she agrees with that side. Also, she's looking at the extremists on her side of the aisle and realizes that she needs to hand an olive branch over to them to try to get them to cross over and recognize that the Biden administration is truly for them and not for the other side. It's just disgusting. I mean, it really is. I would love to know your comments on this. I mean, especially on both sides. Like, I know there's people who watch this channel and you're not in agreement with what I'm saying, but how can you look at the statement that she's making? Like, she didn't even have to just say it was Arabs or Muslims. She could have said it was both. She could have been like, well, we are seeing a massive uptick of anti-Semitism and hate crimes towards Jewish people. It's terrible. We hear it. We're going to be there to protect it, but we're also seeing it. She could have done something like that, but no, she just outright disregarded, immediately said, we're not seeing that. There's no evidence of it. And this guy, me right here, I have way less resources than her. Within minutes, I can find so many credible sources out there from just the last few days that are pointing to a massive increase in hate crimes and anti-Semitism. But she says this straight to your face. And there's so many people who just listen to it and say, well, she said it must be true. I don't care what I'm seeing or hearing or what's actually out there. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I just thought this was disturbing, disheartening, disgusting. And why? Why? I mean, it just shows you where their cards are. It shows you where their true intentions and their heart and their alliance and their allegiance actually lies. And it's not on the side that most of you who are watching this channel would probably lie on. I mean, you're probably, in my opinion, going to be on the side of hopefully truth and reality and what's right against what's wrong, against lies. I hope to hear from some of you in the comment section. As always, I'll catch you on the next one.